All right, and welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, June 8th, 2022. If you're not done so already, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, comment, etc. And come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, another really choppy session here on the street. Really boring session considering the volatility. You know, the last couple of days have been pretty boring and really trappy. You know, every type of move, you know, we talked about this last couple of days. Every move we get is like some type of a trap, a bull trap or a bear trap. Either way, we had some sideways chop here in the morning, slightly lower to, you know, flat to negative. And then we got some news about the SEC basically changing their payment for order flow rules. Essentially, the gist of it is that it sounds like they're trying to make it a little bit more transparent. That obviously the market did not like that because Wall Street does not like transparency at all, and they like being able to front run retail traders' orders. So Robinhood taking a hit on that news. Flip over to Hood there. So down 4% there on the day. Not even really down that much more, or that much surprisingly. But you can see that took a hit right there during the middle of the day. Now it's off the lows there. But overall, the big takeaway today is that the inside bar here is still intact. So we've been in this chop range for 7 days here. And, you know, this is your typical pattern, right? So a big low is put in, a massive tail candle. You have a nice thrust up, and then you're going sideways in a very tight range with declining volume. So we know that that is a coiling pattern for a continuation move up. And I believe right now at this time, unless something changes, we close below this low. That looks like that is going to be the case here. Although I think pretty soon this has to start moving. The longer this consolidates and it can't break out, you know, it has more of a tendency to roll over here. But so far, there's really nothing wrong with the pattern, and I'll give the market the upside bias right now. And at this point, like I've said, the 50 moving average here is minor resistance now. Done too much consolidation beneath it, which means that, you know, essentially we're like building up an army here. So this is the castle wall. Your army's taking a break here. They're resting. They're scouting the defenses. So they've got a chance to push through that, as opposed to if you were going straight into it off of the lows. So this, you know, red high here and this pivot high here at 430, you're consolidating to try and attack that. So that's what I'm seeing here on the charts. Same thing on the Qs. Triple Q is a little bit stronger today, which is a good sign. We had some M&A talk. Roku, actually. There's buyout talks from Netflix, which I've been saying that Netflix needed to do this last year. They would have paid more for these companies, but they really needed to improve their business model. Roku up 9% here today. I thought they would have gone after a company like Fubo. Very cheap stock, and they have live sports. Netflix doesn't have live sports, so you know that could have been a good thing for them to add. But in any case, it is helping out the triple Qs here as Techland is getting a little bit of bid off of that. And let's take a look here at the Russell. So Russell still leading, and we've been, you know, talking about that, how the Russell has kind of outperformed, which has been a good sign. If we look at these other tech sectors, look at the ARCs of the world, obviously this being helped out by Roku, but when I see these risk on type stocks bidding and leading the market higher, you know, ARC is up 2.5% today, with the spiders down 1% and the Q's down 0.7. So that is a good, you know, a good sign. XBI here, absolutely sector that's been absolutely trounced. I mean, this is just a beat down, and it hasn't gotten much of a bounce. This is up, you know, 70 basis points today. So some of these beaten down sectors are performing well. IGV, you know, we follow this pretty closely here. You know, it's down 70 basis points, but look at the nice up move, little stare up, and now an inside bar here as well. So some of these tech stocks, you know, these kind of risk on type plays are starting to lead again. And remember the last time we had that, you know, we called the bottom here. We were saying, hey guys, look, you know, these ARC is starting to bid. You know, we got stocks like, you know, Shopify and Carvana that were up 20% in one day. So I said, hey guys, there's some shorts starting to cover here. So be ready for a rally. And when you combine that with the fact that we have this beautiful chop here, beautiful inside bar bullish chop on the daily, you have to think that we're probably going to get a continuation at some point here in the not so distant future. Anyways, semiconductors down 2%. So a little bit on the softer side today, but again, nothing terrible here. Up move and now just kind of a pullback pattern, hugging that 50 period moving average. You know, this has got a little bit of resistance at this pivot here, and then you got that, you know, 253 level. 100 MA. But you know, again, like the spiders, the more you consolidate here, the more minor you can make these resistance levels. So we'll see what we get tomorrow. But semiconductors, you know, all things considered, not a terrible pullback. Transports, on the other hand, I loved the candle yesterday, and they really just disappointed today. So, I mean, this is a really good test candle. I love these types of candles, but Dow Transport's just taking a hit today. JB Hunt, a lot of these trucking names are bringing it down. UPS getting hit as well, down 3.5 here. XPO down as well. So the trucking names and kind of delivery names are bringing down the transports. So really kind of disappointing showing there. It is holding that 14,000 level. So we'll see what it does. Maybe it wants to go test 13.7, which would be a big level for it. But again, kind of a disappointing showing there on the transports, all things considered. Interest rates today. So we're going to be watching for really, we have the CPI number coming out on Friday. And that is, the White House did release a press release today saying that, hey, basically expect this number to be really hot. So they kind of they're telegraphing it. So I guess the market, maybe the positive is the market has a chance to price it in. Rates were, you know, up just under 2% today. So we'll see what they do here. But the thing that I would say we need to watch for is kind of what we talked about yesterday. So if consumer discretionary and core CPI start to slip a little bit in relation to food and energy, that's going to change the dynamic of the market. The market's going to have to change how it prices things in. So, you know, if companies are burning through consumer discretionary inventory, that's going to change, you know, that could affect monetary policy. It can affect a lot of things. So just be aware of that. There's no guarantee it happens. I'm not an economist. I don't know exactly what the number is going to be. I think we all know that food and energy is going up. We all go to the grocery store, but just keep that dynamic in the back of your mind for Friday. 30-year here, same kind of deal. We talked about the resistance at the red bar, and it's really just kind of pausing right there. So overall, just a pause day for rates. HYG, so continuing to pull back. So it got a one-day bounce and now coming back down up the lows. This, you know, probably wants to go down and back test 77. So that's going to be an area to watch there on HYG. Market's about to close here, and there is the closing bell. So Q's closing a little bit off the lows. So again, a little bit stronger than the spiders. So we'll continue to watch that moving forward here. All right, let's flip back over here. So we got through rates, home builders here, XHB. Again, still holding this upright pattern. So again, everything, pretty much every sector right now, up move. And now bullish consolidation, so no real changes there on the XHB or ITB. BNQ, same thing, little pullback pattern. It's trying to hold that 20 moving average, but we'll see what we get tomorrow. Financials, again, same deal, up move, pullback pattern on the XLF there. Basically got a little bit off that green bar low. We'll see if that 20 MA can upslope and maybe give it some juice moving forward. Broker dealers, XBD, again, basically kissing that 20 moving average. We'll see if it gets a reaction off of that tomorrow. Now, the big story of the day, well, before we get into Natty, we'll talk about crude. So crude really surging here. It was kind of stuck at this 120 level. Again, I told you guys that was going to be a level for it. And we had that little tail candle kind of pulled back and then consolidated. So a little bit of a short-term breakout there on crude. Again, I've been telling you guys 125 if it gets through 120. So that's going to be the area there. That's where you started to break down. So we'll see how it reacts going into that level. And I've told you guys over the last couple of days, I think energy may be headed for some type of a blow-off move into late June, maybe July. And we saw that, I said yesterday we may have seen that the beginnings of that on XLE. We had a surge yesterday, then a little pause candle today. The CPI number could also be a catalyst for this. So again, if we get another hot print, it could send us into parabolic mode, into blow-off mode. So be ready for something like that. XOP here, basically flat to negative. So just kind of taking a breather. OIH, same thing. But again, no real problems here. The trend is up and, yes, they're extended, but they need to really have a blow-off move before I'm ready to say that they're going to top out and correct in any sort of major way. Now, the big story of the day, nat gas. So we had LNG facility. There's an explosion there, export facility. Essentially, that's good for United States consumers. It's bad for European consumers. But you can see this is why I tell you guys every single day in here, don't chase energy. Don't chase energy. Leave it alone. wait for a correction if you want to buy it so badly, because nat gas here in 1 hour was down 13%. So I mean, well, it was okay. I'm sorry, it was only 10%, but in 3 hours it was down 13% here. So I'll move all the way up from 970 down to just 842 there at the lows. And this is the type of volatility that commodities can bring, and this is why you don't chase. Now, it is holding that 20 moving average for now. I think it still has a good shot to get above 10 bucks before it really comes in significantly, but we'll see what we get. So if it, if it can hold that 20 period moving average, it can still hold up, but this is why you don't want to chase this stuff, guys, because it's not like you're never gonna get a chance to buy something. And don't buy into euphoria and don't buy into the hype. So just be aware of that. Same thing goes for XLE, XOP, OIH, any of these oil stocks, crude, anything like that, or anything in general, anything that's going parabolic like this. You never chase that. That's rule number 1. Anyways, sermon over. Dollar index here. So, up today again with rates kind of greenish. Again, it's holding up, it's hanging in there. Again, I'd like to see some more chop in between these moving averages and below this red bar. And you guys know the drill. I'm kind of expecting that to set up, to move lower and head towards that 100 handle. Gold here today, really kind of a nothing burger, just up 15 basis points right now. But again, still, and it looks a lot like the SPY too. So it looks like gold is kind of correlated positively to the market right now. You have this tail candle and then a nice up move and now consolidating sideways. So gold maybe also looking to have a pop into that 1900 handle, maybe 1920. We'll see what we get, but the pattern right now doesn't look terrible. And silver, same kind of thing. A little bit of a tail candle today, a little possible test candle, and it is basically going kind of sideways here. So again, possibly setting up for a move to 23 to 23.25. And then platinum here again, pulling back after that surge, so no problems there, starting to flag a little bit. There's platinum again. Palladium again starting to roll over. So palladium has been kind of the weak one in the metals space. And then we have copper here. A little bit of a daily higher low. But again, this has got to flag a little bit. It just had a nice surge, just a really big surge. A 5.5% move is huge for copper. So it does need to pull back and do some backing and filling. And there's a lot of supply up here. So, this was bullish consolidation and it failed. So there's going to be a lot of supply up there if it's tested. So it does need to do more backing and filling in order to get through that. But nothing really terrible there on copper for now. And then Bitcoin, lastly, what can you say? It's hanging in there. It's trying. It didn't take out yesterday's low. I like the potential test candle that we had. And you got back inside of this green bar. So we'll see if that holds. Again, the levels are still the same. You're looking at this green here. So 29,295.86. Any daily close below that, Bitcoin goes down to 24,000 very fast. But as long as it holds up here, it can, potentially make a, bullish move here with the rest of the market. And that's really all it is. Nothing's really changed here. It's holding up for now, and we'll just keep taking it one day at a time. All right, so lastly, let's flip back over to the spiders. Again, nothing really changed here. We had a little bit of a dip into the close. Looks like, and then we came off the lows just a touch here. Again, nothing's really changed. Bottom line, bullish inside bar. The close below that negates it, and we're probably going back down to about 390, 392. But if we can push through it, we can easily get up to the mid 420s here in the near term, possibly 430. So that's what we're going to look for. And again, we do have a quad witch OPEX week next week. So, we're probably going to get a big move one way or the other here in the not so distant future. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.